Hi everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel, Cassandra's Creations. Today I want to show you how to make a unicorn cake. This is my first voiceover YouTube video, so I'm a little excited. Sorry about my voice, I'm a little sick. So let's get started with the cake toppers. Here we're going to start with making the horn and the ears. You're going to want to start with the log of fondant and divide it in half. Then you're going to make two long carrot shape with thin at the end and thicker at the bottom. Then you're going to want to glue them together with a little bit of water to get them to stick. Remember not to press too hard because then you're going to ruin the shape that you just created. Keep twisting until you get your desired shape. After that, you're going to want to use a knife and cut it at the length that you will need for your size cake. And I sprinkled a little cornstarch because I added too much water so that it won't be sticky on my hand. Next, cut off the tip of the skewer so that it doesn't go all the way through. Wet the skewer a little bit and then insert it into your horn. Don't push it all the way through. Remember not to roll it too much. Kind of like what I did on the top. You're going to lose the shape a little bit. Now use a dry brush and dust off the extra cornstarch. You're going to want to put a little bit of water between the fondant pieces, just so that they don't fall off and so that they can stick better. Now set it aside and let it dry. Now let's work on the ears. You're going to sprinkle a little bit of cornstarch and you're going to grab a ball of fondant and flatten it out. Make sure it's nice and smooth. You're going to want to roll it out a little thick. Make sure both ears are about the same thickness. So to cut out the ear shape, I'm using a heart-shaped cookie cutter, and I'm laying a piece of saran wrap, and then I'm pushing the cookie cutter into the fondant. That way, I get rounded edges when I cut out my shape. You're going to want to repeat this a second time, so you can have two ears. Once you cut out both ears, you're going to want to grab two lollipop sticks and wet the ends. Then insert them inside the hearts. Set them aside to dry. I used the corner of a cardboard box, but you could also use a book. So now we're going to work on our buttercream. I have 4 piping bags full of buttercream, and to that I'm going to add a very little bit amount of food coloring. I'm going for a pastel color, so don't add too much. Mixing it inside the piping bag, it also eliminates washing multiple dishes. Allows you to get all the air bubbles out, and it makes it very silky and smooth. Just keep mixing all your buttercreams until you get all your colors mixed up. If you overfilled your piping bag, you can use a towel at the open end so you can have better grip on it and no frosting will leak out. The colors I used were by Wilton. It's violet, royal blue, lemon yellow, and pink. I'm taking saran wrap, laying out a flat sheet of it, and then I'm going to pipe each color on it. So I'm doing pink first, then yellow, then blue, and then purple. Now roll it up nice and tight, closing off one end. Leave the other side open, the side you're going to slip inside the bigger piping bag. Now I'm using a large 18-inch piping bag and a star tip, a 1M by Wilton. I'm going to cut off the end, and then I'm going to slip in the whole burrito of buttercream inside of it. I chose this method because making 4 colors is easier than piping the whole rainbow. Like that, the yellow and the pink will make like a peach or like a pale orange, and then the yellow and the blue will make like a green, causing it to create the whole rainbow. Now grab the bowl and pipe out the colors until you see every single color combined. You're going to want to save this bowl because what I ended up doing was mixing it all and I got like a very light gray to add a pop of color to the mane of my unicorn and to pipe out the eyes. In a separate bowl, take luster dust and a little bit of vodka to paint the ears and the horn. Now that we have our buttercream and our decorations assembled, now we're going to stack and layer the cakes. Make sure you soak your layers in simple syrup just to keep the moisture in. And then I didn't want the flavoring to absorb into the cake, so I put a layer of buttercream, a very thin layer of buttercream, and then I put my pineapple filling inside. You want to make sure you put a dam in your cake, like a rim of buttercream, because you don't want your filling to come out. My cakes were a little warm here, but make sure you chill your layers before you try to assemble your cake. It makes it way easier. Let them chill in the fridge for about a day. So this is my final layer. I made another dam, a thin layer of buttercream, and then the filling, and now my top layer of cake. I put it upside down to make it easier to frost. Now my last layer of simple syrup to lock in the moisture. With my scraper, I cleaned up the sides a little bit. I was going to give it a small crumb coat. Unfortunately, like I said, my cakes were still warm, so everything was kind of melting and falling apart. So I just let it harden in the fridge for about 10 minutes before I tried to give it the crumb coat. Clean up the sides and stick it in the fridge. Now it's time for the crumb coat. I put my buttercream in a large piping bag, fitted with a Wilton icing tip. I think the number is 789. Just to give it a really thin coat. Use a bench scraper and scrape the excess buttercream just to lock in all the crumbs. Now stick it in the fridge to chill for 10 minutes. Now that it's chilled, I'm going to do the final ice. Give it a good amount of buttercream. Yes, it looks messy. It must look messy for it to look very pretty. So this spatula I got on Amazon. It came in a 2-pack for around $10. I really like it because it gives me like straight edge cakes. Just make sure you add enough buttercream. It's going to scrape off all the excess anyway. But it gives you really nice edges. Leveling out the top. And make sure you're cleaning your spatula every time you put it back onto the cake. Here I'm using a piece of plastic because it's easier for me to do the tip. I didn't want them completely cornered. I wanted them kind of flat but round at the top. I'm just cleaning off the excess buttercream that's on the bottom. And then chill it for 10 minutes. Makes it easier to decorate. So using the rainbow piping bag, I'm just piping rosettes. Piping one rosette in the top forehead of the unicorn, moving down the middle toward the back of the cake. And then just work your way down the cake. No particular order. I started doing S's, swirls, different designs overlapping. And like I mentioned earlier, to add a pop of color, the bowl of buttercream, I just mixed it and I made a teal color. So now I put that inside a piping bag fitted with a coupler. It's a quick changing tool for decorators to change the tip in one piping bag. The tips I'm going to use are by Wilton, size 32, and then I switched to a size 18, and then for the eyes I switched to a size 3. Just add dollops of the turquoise buttercream in any little area where you think it needed a little more color. Continue piping it on the back of the cake and extend the mane kind of toward the front so it looks like the hair is coming on the side of the cake. And then I changed to the smaller tip and made smaller dollops everywhere. I added one right under the first rosette I did on the forehead. Changed the tip to the small size 3, and then I'm freehanding the eyes. Pipe the other eye, add the eyelashes. Now add the horn and the ears. So I forgot to press record when adding the horn, but I just added it to the center of the cake. Just eyeball it where you want the horn and then match up the ears with it. After that, pipe some more buttercream for a little bit of structure, just so that they won't fall back, and any rosettes to give it a little more height. You want to fill up all the holes, so keep adding buttercream until you don't see the bottom white layer. And you're all done. So here's the finished look for my unicorn cake. This was my first time making a unicorn cake, and I think it came out really great. I hope you try it. You'll probably have a lot of fun like I did too. That is it. I hope you guys enjoyed my video, and here's the finished product. Please like and subscribe. I'll see you guys next time on Kassandra's Creations. Bye!